demonstrate to us a pan. Okay, I want you to give me a pan.
This is Peter Higgs and her Year 6 class at Cranmer Primary School in South London. She doesn't always use books in her literacy hour. Sometimes she uses film.
We live in a visual world. Most of these children start nursery at the age of 3, being able to work a remote control, and you know, they have PlayStations and they have Nintendos and they have all this access to visual literacy, which we really need to cater for, and we really need to not disregard that they watch these things. I mean, we might believe that what they're watching at home is inappropriate, but it's our role, it's our responsibility to ensure that these children, that we're actually fostering their visual literacy and actually giving them the skills to be able to critique it and make sense of what they're viewing.
In this lesson, Peter is working with her class using a 6-minute-long enigmatic French animation called The Monk and the Fish. The film has no dialogue and very few sound effects, and the music is classical. Set in a Cistercian abbey, the story follows the increasingly frenetic efforts of the monk to catch a fish.
What we're going to do is we're going to listen to the film.
Peter and her class don't watch the film to start the lesson. Instead, they begin with a listening activity.
Okay, so when you're listening to the soundtrack, what period of time is it set in? Does the music make you think of a particular time of the day? Is it the morning? Is it the night time? I like to listen to the soundtrack first, just to sort of get their ideas, get their preconceived ideas of what different sounds, what it means to them, before actually visually seeing it. And can you think of a time when maybe we might have heard that sort of music?
Maybe.
This group has been asked to listen for clues in the film's soundtrack about the setting.
It's set an old village and the countryside.
What makes you think that it's a long time ago, Kevin?
The music sounds a bit historic.
It's remarkable how much children can learn about the film from the soundtrack without seeing any pictures.
The way the music goes up and down, when the music goes like fast, it's like they're running after people.
Using film does definitely help support inference and deduction, which is one of those really difficult assessment focuses to teach within literacy and also within the whole curriculum. And today they were inferring about the story, and then they were making their own deductions about the story. They were inferring about the time and the setting and the characters.
Peter now lets the children watch the first few minutes of the film to see how successful their predictions were.
I think all film allows children to work at those higher order inference and deduction skills. I mean, most of my children, when we first started using film, would have been in the low level 3s, upper level 2s, and in year 6, that's a major issue because we're aiming for 4s. And using film enables me to pull them up and really question them carefully and really go for those higher order inference and deduction skills.
The class are developing ideas about the monk's character. Using the drama technique Sculptor and Sculpted, each group visually represents a moment from the story so far.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. by getting them to become the monk, they could understand a lot better how he was feeling, why he was acting the way that he was, which led into their writing, the groups that were doing the diary writing, and also the groups that were commenting on the relationship between the monk and the fish. It gives them like a practical experience before they have to then go off and do their written task.
Open the hands.
By visually rehearsing their ideas, Peter hopes that the children will be prepared and confident and ready to write. Later in the film, the monk goes to the library and falls asleep. This scene inspires one of the children's sculpture and his plaque.
Okay, Joe, so you can do your caption at the side. Lazy as a sloth. Do you think he's lazy as a sloth? Is that what you think he's doing when he's reading the book?
Yeah, well, he's supposed to be researching about how to catch fish, yeah, but instead he's sleeping on the job.
So he's sleeping on the job. So you think he should have been finding out about this fish, how to catch it, and instead he was taking a break. By giving them the ideas, then they've got the structure there, you know, they've got the narrative structure there in front of them. What they can then focus on are specific individual writing targets, such as, you know, using capital letters or using a full stop. What we're going to do for the second part of the lesson is we're going to start really thinking about our film language.
Another important aspect of working with film is using film language. Like all films, this animation uses a range of shot sizes. Peter gives the class the vocabulary to spot top shots, long shots, close-ups.
Marcus is going to be our cinematographer, which means our cameraman, and he is going to film you doing the different shots. So, Marcus, the first shot type that I'd like you to try and show us is a close-up. And just watch the cord. Okay, what does Marcus need to do? Has he got it right? Move to the right a bit. A bit to the left. Well done. Okay, you filming? Good boy. Right, what's the next shot that we need to do on our card? Alana.
To do extreme close-up.
Oh, very lovely. Does Marcus need to move at all, everybody? Perfect, Marcus, perfect. In the classroom, I expect them to be active viewers. Obviously, there's a place at home, and sometimes there's a place in the school as well for sitting back and being a passive viewer. But my goal is to get them actually looking at it and critiquing it. Okay, get ready to spot the shots. Okay, ready for it? Just turn the lights off so that you can...
They now watch the film again with a more critical eye.
Which angle? Low angle. Good try, good boy. High angle. High angle. What's that? Long shot, isn't it? Long shot. What's that? Where's the camera now? Low angle because we're looking up at the sky. What's this? Zoom in. It was a cut, good boy, a cut to a long shot, well done. I think to critically understand something, you need to be actively pulling it apart and actively looking for things like spot the shots. You know, they were having fun yelling out the different shot types, but they're still learning and they're still critiquing it. And I think the next stage on for that would be looking at why we use long shots, why we might specifically use an extreme close-up, and what the purpose of those different shot types actually is.
So, back in groups, the class analyses elements of the Monk and the Fish storyboard, describing the shots and deciding how they may have done it differently using the language of film. The class still hasn't seen the film from beginning to end.
What I want you to do is first I want you to look at it and decide what shot type it is. Okay, what shot type and what shot angle. So let's look at this picture carefully. And Marcus, what shot type do you think it is?
It looks like a long shot.
It's a long shot, well done. Now the dialogue, what's he going to be, is there going to be any dialogue in this particular scene, or is there going to be a voiceover so they're showing what he's thinking? Okay, have a chat with the person beside you and decide what you're going to do there.
This I'm gonna catch that.
I don't care. I'll risk my life. I'm gonna get this fish. Finally, I'm gonna get it. That's what she said. Yeah. Finally, I'm gonna get this fish. I need to get it.
But couldn't all this valuable discussion work be based on a story or a poem?
If I were to give my children a poem with this same content, I think I'd have behaviour issues. I think I'd have kicking under the table and pushing and shoving, and I'd have passive and disillusioned learners because they wouldn't understand what's going on at all. Have we decided what we're going to do for dialogue? Marcos?
The classroom I said that the dialogue says, Mark in the German voice, I'm really going to get the fish.
I'm really going to get the fish. So is that going to be a voiceover?
Yeah.
Right, so make sure that you indicate that it's a voiceover on your storyboard. I think if we were doing it as a written text, there would be a lot more teacher input, whereas with using the film, it's more child-centred and more child-led. Miriam, would you like to share how you predicted that the film was going to end?
I thought that after he takes a second try to catch the fish, and it ends up that the fish has a parent and it's a really big fish, so he just gives up and ends up having something else for dinner.
Is there anybody that thinks the ending has got a slightly unusual feel to it? Anyone thinks it's going to end in a really, really different way? Let's have Kevin.
That at the end the fish ends up dying and turns into a really giant fish and squashes the monk.
So the fish is going to die, but it's going to turn into a big fish and it's going to squash and kill the monk. OK, that's a bit of a strange ending. Put you out of your misery now. Let's have a look and see how, indeed, this film does finish, OK? We need to turn the lights off. Can you all see? The ending probably confused a lot of them, but then the ending would also confuse a lot of adults.
Somebody said that it was the air lifting them up, but I think it was actually because they're both really tired of chasing that they went up to heaven.
To me, it was like a funny ending, because I thought in the end of the film, the man would catch the fish, but he didn't. They both went up into the sky, so it was funny.